Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us live today. My special guest this morning is Karen Yee, and Karen is really amazing at helping you get into a position to actually have people buy what you are selling. So the title of this live particularly is anybody buying what you're selling, and what are you selling, and how people are knowing about you and finding you. So let me just share a little bit about Karen and her bio. Welcome, Karen. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Hello, everyone.
Yeah. So whether you're joining live or joining on the replay, please just take a second to say hello, where you're from, and actually let us know what product or service that you need help actually getting out there and selling, and to have more people buy from you. Because Karen is a sales coach, and she teaches small to medium-sized companies how to build a winning profile and increase sales using ads. So we're going to talk about her story, kind of a little bit of branding stuff, and the tips that she has on selling. So how did you get started in this? I mean, you're just so young and beautiful. I'm just like, when I you're amazing at what you do. So tell us a little bit about your journey.
Yeah. So I want to start off with how I founded my company, New Futures on Demand. And the reason why it's named the way that it is because I truly believe that everyone has a skill set that someone else needs help in, and that they can build a profitable business, especially during this time, an online business, that using their own skill set. So for how I started was that I was that person that was the 8 to 5 and not the 9 to 5, where after a couple of years, I realized that I feel like there was something missing, that I was so passionate in helping people. And I also have this knowledge where I can bridge the gap when it comes to the marketing and the sales pitch, the sales piece, because I've noticed that there is a huge gap when it comes to entrepreneurs who are skilled in one like specific area, where whether it can be like a healthcare practitioner or in finance or in real estate or even like a fitness professional. This is something that they went to school for or even got a degree in. So, but then when it comes to marketing or even selling, this is something that's completely outside of their knowledge because they didn't go to school for that, and they didn't and in schools and colleges or universities, this is something that they don't teach. And so for me, I took my skill set and developed it into a company so I can help other business owners achieve their goal in making more impact and also next leveling their business. So I do teach a lot of small to medium-sized business owners on better positioning their offer and their services and scale using ads, whether it be on like Facebook and Instagram, as well as when it comes to if their platform is LinkedIn, how to perfect that message. Because when it comes to what I teach and what my clients are successful in is creating a powerful message where people, when they see it and they read it, they know that you are the authority in your field, so that it makes them go on to the next step to learn more about you and to schedule that call to see if this is something that you can help them. And so that's my journey of how I started.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen that a lot. I started out my career as a dental hygienist. I was a dental hygienist for over 38 years. It hurts to say that, but you know what I've seen in like whatever it is your business is, if you're not out there marketing, if you're not giving your message, if you're not being seen and heard, you know, people can't find you. Yeah, there's always the beauty of word of mouth referrals, but if you want to help more people, you've got to find a way to hone your message and be seen. And I've even heard of, you know, a lot of the dentists that I worked for, fortunately, were really savvy in the marketing, and what they sold was not fixing teeth, but really the confidence that came
Mm-hmm.
with having a beautiful smile. So this could work in any industry, real estate with your dream home, or real estate with investments for passive income, whether you have a brick and mortar business and you're selling actual items, you really, I find that people that were able to sell the experience
Mm-hmm.
with their message, actually, you want to kind of like, I'll have what she's having, like Harry met Sally, like what is that going to bring? So tell us a little bit more about, the type of clients that you work with and how you help them, if you have any stories you want to share about that.
Yeah. So I work with a wide range of clients because what I teach is actually can be applied to any industry. So I do help a lot of people that are in the healthcare industry, in real estate, finance, and those who are even like mompreneurs who are just starting out. So that's definitely something where like I pride myself in, because especially when it comes to starting an online business, a lot of people are scared in whether or not someone is going to buy from them. They have this mentality of like imposter syndrome, where it's just like, well, I'm just a nobody. But then it's not that. It's changing your mindset, where you have to understand that you have this skill set and people will listen to you. It's just a matter of how you change a couple words here and there, where it will actually attract them to be like, and raise their hand, be like, yes, that's me. And I do need help in that.
Mm-hmm.
So there is like a story I can give, like a story for one of like the clients that I worked with. He recently moved to New York, and he's a healthcare practitioner, and he had a email list where like he wasn't sure if anyone was going to come to see him, because if you're new to a new city, like who is going? Everyone already has their go-to physician and everything. So it was a matter of positioning him to be that person to go to. And he's tried it on his own. He's worked with other people before. And we started organically, because I do like to teach organic before scaling it using ads. Because when it comes to ads, that's something where this is when you truly want to next level it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can only reach so far when it comes to like word of mouth and organic, because you do want many people to see that this is a service that you're providing, you're here, and if you need help, then definitely come to me, that kind of thing. That's like the ads part of it. But when it came to going back to him, his situation, he's tried reaching out to new patients or clients before, and that hasn't worked at all. And in starting with us, we changed the way that he did his messaging and his offer. And in a month, he basically reached at 95% capacity. So I think that's like amazing. Yeah.
So let me pick that apart a little bit. So
Okay.
where did he move from?
So for that, he moved from California.
So from California to New York. And where did he broadcast his message, for lack of a better word? Like,
So
if
he
you did this organically, like how did you get an organic reach?
So for him, he tried it where he did it via email, because he's thinking like he has this huge email list, and then that he should send it to via email, but it didn't connect with people. So not many people took him up on his offer and whatnot. But for us, because we have a system in place where it nurtures nurtures like new prospects or even old clients or patients, that it makes them be like, okay, well, you have this new offer and I do know you, and let me see what you can do for me, because I am in pain. And so, yeah.
Well, does he have a virtual business? If he had an email list, like where was his email list? Pardon me. How did he curate that email list?
So for his email list, he worked with another company before that helped him with that. And then so when in coming working with us, we just improved on what he did strategically so that it actually generates results.
Yeah, I'm curious because, email list is the key, They
True.
can't take that from you. They can't, you own that.
Mhm.
You own
Yes.
that. Whereas the social media, they get weird sometimes and you lose your social media platform and presence and all the contacts that were on there as well. So if somebody is just starting out,
Mhm.
you're in COVID and, maybe you're not working as much as you were in your chosen field, or you've been laid off altogether and you're like, okay, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I always wanted to do something. Here's my grand idea, but I have no idea where to start and how to get out there. What would be the first thing for new entrepreneurs that have a product or service that they want to sell to get started? How would you recommend them getting started?
Ooh, that is a great question. So I would say definitely number one to just do it, like that Nike slogan.
Yeah.
Yes, to just do it. But definitely, if it is to write it down, to definitely have if there is 5 interests that you are really passionate in, to write it down, and then going from there. You tap into every specific one and be like, okay, what can I help this person do? And build out your client avatar of within each area. So if there's 5 interests that you have, then build out the client avatar of each one, and then see like, is this the type of person that I want to help, and also is this passionate to me? Because that is the ultimate question of why a lot of entrepreneurs in the very beginning, they jump from one area to the next because they see that everyone is doing this one thing, and so like, okay, I need to do this one thing, but then afterwards they realize that they are not passionate about it, and then they do that switch to what they really wanted to do originally. So I
Mhm.
would say definitely write down what you're passionate about. If you have a couple of interests that you are passionate about, write it down, and then go one after one and create your client avatar and see that, is this the type of person that you want to work with? And if it is, then go into that. Because when it comes to creating an online business, it's not you choose one and that will be what you're doing forever. because
Mhm.
because of the fact that it is your own business, you can mold that to how you'd like it to be. You can add additional services after that. You can take it away. It's like Play-Doh, where like,
Mhm.
it is your business. So as you learn, you take away what's not working and you put in what is. And that's why, like for what I teach, like everything that I teach, I've tried on my own. So I know that it does work.
Mhm. But when you're new and starting out and you have this idea and you have your passion, how do you even get started in it?
So I would say definitely reach out to like a mentor,
Okay.
to because they've been there before and they know that the steps on what to do. Yeah. We're here. Give us a call. Because
Yeah.
like we can lay out just like the first steps of what you need to do. Because a lot of people, they say like, oh, you need to create an LLC, and that makes people scared, because like, do you really need to spend all this money to create an LLC when you haven't created, when you haven't generated any income off of that yet? So,
Mhm.
I mean, also, I do have a checklist for a lot of the people who are thinking about starting an online business. It's called the A to Z checklist. So you can go to newfuturesondemand.com/A to Z checklist. So you can download that. So that does give you what you need to do from A to Z if you are wanting to start an online business.
Oh, that's perfect. So what are some of the things that are on that list? If you can give us, I know you have A to Z, but if you can give us a couple of letters about, I love that you said really hire a coach or a mentor, to somebody to guide you, because if you go in there blind,
Yeah.
as we all know, you'll end up wasting a lot of time, money, and
Mhm.
energy and end up frustrated and probably feel like giving up, because there are a lot of amazing entrepreneurs who just don't stick through the hard parts long enough to have their breakthrough. And I know that's one of the really important benefits to having coaches and mentors in your
Mhm.
corner, to really walk you through those tough moments, as well as guide you through, the actual strategic steps to get that done. But what are some other things that maybe we may not have thought of that are on your checklist?
So definitely logo and branding,
Okay.
as well as, of course, secure your own domain. So that's definitely
Yeah.
that's the number one, because a little hack when it comes to the SEO part is that when you purchase your domain, it actually tells Google that you're serious, that this is like your business, and it will keep that in mind when it comes to like the algorithm part of it later on when you want to launch ads when it comes to Google. And then on the checklist, I also make a point about self-care, because when it comes to starting your online business, it's a roller coaster. It's not a smooth ride. You have ups and downs, and that's the reality of it. Just like any job has their ups and downs, like when it comes to your online business, there it is like that. It's not smooth sailing in the very beginning. So definitely self-care. Just if you like yoga, or if there's a specific class that you like to take, or just like meditating, reading a book, doing that is definitely something that you shouldn't take for granted, because it will help you reset your mindset when it comes to daily tasks that you need to do.
Yeah, it keeps you motivated too. I know one of my coaches and mentors, Brendan Burchard, has this formula, Meds RX. Meditation, exercise, diet, sleep, and the RX is your supplements. Because when you lose motivation, when you start to feel that burnout and want to feel like giving up because, your get up and go has got up and left, you've got to look at that Meds RX formula. Are you meditating? Are you exercising? How's your diet? How's your sleep? Are you getting enough sleep? And supplements to help you stay healthy and strong. And that's really, really important. And it's one of the things that I guide my clients through as well when we go through a high performance coaching, to really make sure that the mental energy and physical stamina is just as important as the strategies and tactics to building your business.
Yep.
Because you can't really pour from an empty cup or give when you're depleted, and you don't want to sacrifice your health or your well-being or your relationships while you're on this journey to build. So how important in the beginning is it to have a team?
I would say, okay, so I'm a little bit different in that, because in the very beginning, who I consider my team are my biggest supporters, are the people who are in my corner in this boxing ring of an online business, where I don't need a VA at this time. I need people who are going to be in my corner to give me motivation to keep on going, because when you first start, there's definitely going to be times where you feel like I'm not getting this right, I'm failing, I'm not getting enough traction. So having those core people on your side to keep you motivated and staying positive is important to me, and that is my team. Because if it wasn't for like my closest friends and my family and my partner in my corner, there's definitely going to be times where I'm just like, I don't think that I can do this. But because I'm so passionate in what I want to achieve as my goal, they're there to remind me to be like, keep on going. And then later on, once you scale, or beginning to scale, is when you bring on a team. And I think that is helpful.
Yeah, no, that's perfect, because it's really hard to do this without the support of family and friends. I remember when I was building my real estate investment company, and yes, I had, my trainers who were helping me learn, how to make offers and how to look for properties and things like that. But also, there were times where it just felt like, this is never going to happen. I'm never going to get that first deal. And when I felt like that, besides having friends and family, for me personally, I went to books. There were a lot of personal development, motivation books, success books of people who have been on this journey before, even though I didn't have my own personal coach or mentor at the time, which I did have, but it was after a year of being in business, because I really used a coach or mentor to scale what I already had by that time. And, just reading other people's stories of success, how other people stayed motivated and took care of themselves, for me was very helpful. Do you have any books or anything that you read for you to stay motivated? I would love for you to share if you've got any kind of secret weapon for your own personal, because you're running your business too, even though
Mhm.
you're helping other people build and scale their businesses. How do you stay motivated?
So for me, definitely one of the books that I highly recommend and I finished reading recently is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And he talks about building up your asset column. And I think that's genius because it is true. When you use your skill set and create a online business out of it, that is your own asset.
Mhm.
And because it is intellectual property, and you keep adding on to the asset column so that everything that you do does not become a liability. And I think that's like genius because not many people think that their skill set is something that is valuable. They work on that 9 to 5 job where they think like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it for the rest of my life. Meanwhile, there is this other side that they haven't tapped into.
Mhm. That book has changed so many lives.
Mm-hmm.
And, you didn't know this beforehand, but I worked for Robert's company
Oh
up
my
until just
gosh! Wow.
recently. Up until just recently with COVID and everything like that, because that's the company that I went to for my real estate education.
Oh
It
wow,
was
yeah.
Rich Dad Education. It had changed kind of branding throughout the years, but it made a huge difference in my mindset, in my financial education,
Mm-hmm.
on how to create passive income assets so that I can do what I love to do, which is this coaching. And
Mm-hmm.
really, it was a tool to live the lifestyle that we have now. And it, it's funny, when I went into it, I was really, really all in. And in that process, I did burn myself out. And it did nearly cost me my relationship. But I'm happy to say that, with the high performance coaching that I received and I do, I've learned how to create that success without sacrificing my health and well being and my relationships in the process so that I can truly, really live a vibrant life. But that book, it was just that when you said that, I was like, oh my God, that book has changed so many
Yeah.
lives. It's been around
Mm-hmm.
since, I want to say, the 80s. I think it was
Yeah.
the 80s. And, having met Robert, having read a lot of his books, I actually have his accountant and his asset attorney are my accountant and my asset attorney as well. And so I really feel safe having them on my team, knowing that they have that same mindset that I do. And so another thing that is really important in building a business is really have people who are aligned to your vision and values when you are at that point of scaling and having a team. So
Yeah.
I love that, Karen. I'm so glad you
Yeah.
read that book.
And he
So
also went through like sorry to cut you off. He
yeah.
also went through the same thing as we did in starting out, where when he decided to write this book, that no one took him seriously, and that goes to the same way with us. Like anyone that's starting out, it's like, why should we listen to you? But the thing is that he put himself out there,
Mhm.
where like he knows this is something that people need. And he has this knowledge and he did it anyways and he
Mhm.
kept pushing and pushing and being in front of people and that I think like is why like it's compounding interest of how successful he is and I truly believe as someone going into an online business they can do that as well.
Mhm. It's funny. I did meet his wife a few times, and when I think her story is in that book. But I've read so many of his books, so I just don't want to get it mixed up. When she talked about her first cash flowing asset, she made $25 a month, and she was so she was so happy with that because she was cash flowing. Like after all the expenses were paid on her first property, it was $25 a month, and she was really instrumental in and helping me to keep going. And some of the personal interactions I've had with her, I felt she was amazing. And, here's an opportunity I missed that I'll share with you. She wanted to interview me for her book, and I didn't feel I was ready. And I turned down the opportunity. This was about, I don't know, 9 or 10 years ago. And it
Wow.
just goes to show how, we really get to go for it anyway, even
Mhm,
though we're not ready. Because imposter syndrome is a really big thing that creeps up on us and actually
mhm.
is one of the things that can hold us back from really putting ourselves out there, like you say, and have people buy what we are selling. So if you were to leave our viewers one final word to get people to buy what you are selling, what would be the one thing that you would say would be crucial into really, I don't know if it's putting yourself out there, being seen, self-care, what would you think would be the one thing that you say, if you don't do anything else, do this?
I go back to the quote that I always say to either like clients or prospects is to be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Mm,
Because as you start out, or even if you are already like 1 to 2 years in, it's still the same. Every time you put a post out there or want to put a post out there, to just do it. Because if you have this all written out and trying to be a perfectionist, no one is going to see
mm,
what you like, who you are, and what you have that they know that they need help with. So I would say definitely that is the one thing that I would love to leave with people
mhm.
is to be comfortable with being uncomfortable, because once you do it more and so often, then you become confident in that, and that's how it will bring you one step closer to where you need to be.
Perfect. Beautiful. And how can our viewers find you, Karen?
Ooh, okay, so they can friend me on Facebook. My name is Karen Yee. They can also send me a private message. If it's on Instagram, it's KARE_YEE. And or you can also send me an email at hello@newfuturesondemand.com.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us. What you shared was really valuable. I appreciate you coming on here. And
Thank you
everybody else,
so
have
much.
an amazing day and rock it out. Get seen, get
Mhm.
uncomfortable, but get your stuff out there. Thanks
Thank
for your
you.
wisdom, Karen. Bye.
Bye.